Well, howdy. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, early in October. I've been doing chores most of the day. Woodshed over there, I just put almost the last of the wood that I'm storing for winter away. Went across the road and up just a little bit, and there's a landscaping company that also sells firewood, and I bought a pickup load for about 45 bucks. Now, I don't need much heat because I keep my house mainly with a little wood stove. The house is really super insulated, so I go through maybe a quart and a half every winter. On a bad winter, it might be two and a half quarts. But the last 3 or 4 winters have been very mild. So that old tin shed over there holds enough wood to last me a good long while. Got a problem though. The logs that were under it acting as a foundation for the tin shed, well, they rotted out, and that's why it's sort of sitting at an angle. The floorboards rotted out too, but I grabbed some plywood and threw down in there and stacked on top of that, and it seems to be working for a while. Well, I'm not going to be living in the thing. I'm certainly not going to be doing anything precision in there, so I think I'll just live with it being a little bit tilted, and eventually the logs on this side will rot out and it'll settle out just fine. Anyway, I'm just tired of doing chores, and I don't really feel like tinkering with guns right now or my shop, so I'm just sitting out on the stoop basically and enjoying myself and enjoying the evening. Unfortunately, everybody and their brother seems to be out zooming along on the highway, so it's making a lot of noise. About this time of day, on a weekday, it usually does. By evening, though, there's not much at all in the way of highway traffic. This highway is, though it is the main east-west highway in the center of the state, there isn't much traffic on it during the evenings or during the night. So out here, it's just like as quiet as the tomb during the night, and I love it. You see, I spent a lot of time in cities, and the streets I lived on were like on the bus route, so a big old lumbering bus would come by every 15 minutes and just shake the house. Wasn't fun at all, and it wasn't conducive to a good night's sleep. Or the cops would come by with their little sirens screaming, or an ambulance, or occasionally young fellows all gathered together in a group. I think they call it gangs, out arguing with people. I see the mill is in business because semis keep coming up 226 loaded with boards and going in loaded with lumber or loaded with logs. So I just saw a load of plywood heading by. That's a pricey load. I wish I could. Can you just drop off half of that at my place, please? I got a project I could build with that. Anyway, not much of anything to talk about, not much of anything happening. Just me showing what's going on in my world. And it's not a very busy world. But damn, isn't it pretty? You know? Welcome to the Pacific Northwest. I don't know if you can see that semi heading up. He's heading east up towards the pass. Up on the hill up there, you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. There's some power lines up there coming down from the dam. Way up this canyon, there's a couple of dams, and they make a lot of electricity. Water falls down from one after being made into electricity there from the turbines, comes down and then is dammed up again and goes through a second dam and makes a hell of a lot more. So a lot of power comes down this canyon to the rest of the cities up here. People don't realize that most of the cities in the Pacific Northwest are hydro-powered. You know, it's though in Portland there's a science museum called OMSI, and where it's situated is in a building that used to be part of the local power conglomerate. And what it was a setup that burned sawdust and turned it into electricity. Turbines that ran on sawdust. Sawdust is a byproduct of the logging industry, and that is the mainstay of the Pacific Northwest to this day. It maybe not as eco-friendly as it was, well, as it used to. Well, it wasn't eco-friendly then, and it's not really, at least out here in the country, we're not very eco-friendly to eco-idiots. You know, you want to come out here, we have a backhoe that you'd like to introduce you to. You know, every now and then we get somebody who likes to spike trees or the like, but sometimes they even get to go home. Sometimes.